And we're back, baby. Welcome into another episode of Sports Gambling with Moneyline Monaco. Just went live on TikTok at Moneyline Monaco across all socials. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review. Goes a very long way, means a lot. Coming in Thursday night football off a Yankees all-time, don't get me started, could have cashed out at 90% L. It's now all about the New York Jets here on a Jets minus 2.5 Thursday game against the Houston Texans. And this ironically was a matchup last year in which the New York Jets didn't just win. They beat the brakes off of CJ Stroud and the Houston Texans as we enter in and drop in to the Thursday night football half pipe that is the New York Jets and Houston Texans. This is already, and I've been on the wrong side of these, and I can test I'm on the right side here. And this is going to be a little different of a Thursday night pod than normal. I'm going to talk the game, not as long as I normally would in weeks past, because I'm here to talk all things New York Jets. And this one sleep later could look real bad, but we already went on New York TV and took the take. So I've already sunk myself in to the belief that this New York Jets team, and it starts with tonight, and it almost ends tonight if they can't get it, is about to go on a plus 590, pending where you shop, make the playoff run. And I just tell you, while we're doing this, almost 6-1 payout, and I'm going to sell you on it by the end of the program, you might as well sprinkle on a happy Halloween Thursday on them to win the AFC and them to win it all. And quite frankly, the odds are just unfathomable for what they were preseason. I mean, we're talking about plus 10,000 to win the Super Bowl. We are talking about the Jets right here at 2-6 at plus 10,000 to win the Super Bowl and plus 6,000 to win the conference. People, that's $10 to win 600. It's a ridiculous payout. It's an outrageous value bet. If you are San Diego, seen too much sun, me. So let's dive into tonight because already, and we've seen it really in the last work week, lines don't make sense. You do the Costanza opposite. And what doesn't make sense here? Why are the New York Jets favored? Why are we sitting here with a 2-6 club that hasn't won in over a month, laying points against a football team that has already won 6 games? The exact opposite record. And the answer is simple. Because the right side is the New York Jets tonight. And I need to remind you, no Nico Collins and now no Stephon Diggs. And we are talking about Robert. Where is he in the woods? What is it? Xavier Hutchinson. Tank Dell's a player. Dalton Schultz is a player. But we're talking about, again, you need to remind yourself, the second best pass defense in the NFL in the New York Jets tonight. Dancing against CJ Stroud without his top 2 assets. Period. Point blank. When I sit here and tell you the New York Jets have given up less points than the Houston Texans, the 6-2 Houston Texans, that is fact, not fiction. Remember, if you listen to me loyally, I appreciate it, when I was all in on the Chargers over the Cardinals, while I'm hosting my Frank Costanza father in my studio, which is my living room, which is my kitchen, which is also my bedroom. I digress about that. So I'm already stressed out. And I'm taking the Chargers against the Cardinals, and I'm on the wrong side. And I wanted to believe the whole game I was on the right side. This feels similar to that number. It doesn't make sense why the Jets are favored. And now we're talking about reverse line movement because we're talking about tickets coming in on the Texans and the line working against it. This was 1.5, now 2.5. You got to swallow 2.5 points to bet the Jets. But the reality is, this New York Jets team has done everything New York Yankees, fundamentally Little League Series, World Series wrong they could possibly do wrong. The Jets have missed field goals. The Jets have given themselves costly penalties, untimely turnovers. There's no leadership. There's no direction. Okay, so why would you back them? Because I think they hit rock bottom. I think a Patriots team that has won one game at Gillette, shaving cream sold separately in 2 years, just made the New York Jets hit rock bottom. I also have a little bit of Southern California science guy, not a science guy here take. And this was not what I did yesterday on the Better Half Hour. Check it out, MSG Networks. This is what I did and what I feel this morning off of a Yankees L. This is a not just buy low spot for the Jets. This is a buy low spot for the town of New York. A pair of 2-6 clubs, a team that was robbed in the NLCS, I'll say it, in the Mets, and robbed in game 5 of at least a game 6 in the New York Yankees, both thanks to the Dodgers, who I absolutely San Diego up the Disneyland freeway has danced in a rivalry with my whole life. Obviously have strong feelings about, and I'll leave it there. This could be serendipitous. This could be Aaron Rodgers taking this team all the way. But just getting down to the real numbers here, we got to remind ourselves who the Houston Texans have been, particularly in the last several weeks here, going back to the Jags game. You win, but you don't cover. You dance against the Bills. You lose that second half. Bills almost stole that game. They win barely in a game they really don't look great in. Then you give up 21 points in Drake May's first start, and you're lucky you win a boat race, 41-21. You lose to Green Bay, and you almost blew a game to a guy that just got benched in Anthony Richardson. Are we really sitting here saying with a team that's given up more points than the other defense here at 2-6 that we should be really scared about the Houston Texans, who, oh, by the way, both L's are on the road this year. One of them, a 34-7 shellacking against Minnesota. They don't show up on the road in the same way they show up at home. They just don't. And CJ splits are not CJ splits. Home road. This man was 10 of 23 for 91 yards against this Jets D last year. Also a top 2 pass D. He's going to be under duress in the pocket. It's going to be a lot to ask of Joe Mixon, and I just don't sit here and read a line, look at the splits, see the movement, make the buy low, sell high assessment on both sides here, and feel any confidence in anyone fading this pick and taking the Texans. I know the public has won on Thursday night. I'm also 3-1 in my last 4 on Thursday nights. Call what you will. Struggled out the gate on primetime, recorrected it. I was wrong on the Jets last week. I've been right a couple of times, though, in capping their games. You got Houston dancing against the Lions the following week. Do I dare say with the Cowboys on in the hole to the on-deck Lions, this could be, again, a look-ahead spot. The Texans are due to lay an egg. This team, the Jets, Zerloin can't kick a PAT, let alone a field goal. Rodgers can't get out of his own way, honestly. But he's been a banged up dude, and I said this on air and off at the network. It's a 40-year-old man you asked to go play 3 games in 11 days, as we segue into my, overall thought here. This is a 40-year-old man you asked to start the season 3 games in 11 days. Okay? At San Fran, short work week, dance against the Titans, turn it quick around. Road, by the way. Ridiculous ask. Come back around, host a 3rd game again in 11 days. Then you got to go without a cup of coffee, without a New York minute, across the pond to play the freaking Vikings at 6:30 Pacific, 3:30 Hawaiian time? Ridiculous ask of the league. Poor form by Goodell. This is not a first-place schedule. Ridiculous. The Jets' schedule has been a nightmare. Not necessarily opponent-wise, just scheduling. It was talked about in detail yesterday. So we sit here at plus 590. We sit here at plus 6,000. 60 times your $10 investment to pay out 600. $100 to win 6 racks. However you want to look at it. The team has found every way to lose. So could you, Costanza opposite, say that you could find every way to win? The Texans are not who we think they are. I'm telling you. They've scored 188. They've given up 179. It's the Jerry Even Stevens episode. They're not too high. They're not too low, and they're getting away with it. And the Jets are literally the antithesis of this. And now we're getting the books needing a Jets result. And now we're getting reverse line movement. And now we're getting a sell high, buy low spot on both sides. Line doesn't make sense. Jets are winning this game. But on the thought of what I just mentioned, let's take a look here at the Jets schedule because there is some optimism. And I said this on the Better Half Hour. Make sure to check it out. Re-airing all day today on MSG Networks and the Fast Channel. There is some breathing room in this schedule. Let's do a quick little Mario Kart lap here, all right? And it starts out with after this W on Thursday night. The place where before Hail Murray, there was Aaron Rodgers to Jeff Janis. Hail Mary at State Farm. Jake can't save you. Dad joke aside, the Cardinals are the most Jekyll and Hyde, to shout out Halloween on Halloween team you could have in this league, you could have from a betting perspective. To keep it high level, bottom 10 defense in points and yards allowed, and not particularly a fundamentally sound team. And you got to remind yourself this team lost by a halftime on a couple of counts, Green Bay and Washington. They're either in these ridiculous dances like they were last week or a couple of weeks ago. They get good luck, bad luck. Everyone's got a good luck, bad luck guy, a friend in their or girl, a friend in their life. The Arizona Cardinals are a good luck, bad luck dude. Good luck, bad luck Cardinals. How do we know that? You've already seen it. Jake Moody pulls a hammy. You beat the Niners. Dicker, the kicker, with 5 field goals on national television. You steal a game you shouldn't have. They're a ridiculous team, and they shouldn't be taken seriously. I don't care about the 500 record. I know what the Arizona Cardinals will be in December. Prepared to pack it in for golf in Phoenix. That's a W at Arizona. Now we're talking Colts. That's the 3rd road game in 4 games for 39-year-old just off the couch, halfway to freaking all the way to suburbia, halfway to the Fitzpatrick raise the kids Phillip Rivers lifestyle that is Joe Flacco. We think a statue that's running like your grandfather on a mile is going to scare this team if they can get to the quarterback in the pocket. 39-year-old versus a 40-year-old like Saturday at the Y pickup basketball. Give me the Jets over the freaking Colts in their 3rd road game in 4. Don't even at me. That's at MetLife, by the way. Joe Flacco can catch a national television L and also a Colts bottom 5D in yards allowed and particularly bad against the Brees deck the hall runs. 3rd worst against the rush as we speak. So, you beat the Texans. Now you beat the Cardinals. Now you beat the Colts. Now we're talking about 5 and 6. Oh, by the way, have you looked at the AFC wildcard playoffs? Have you seen that the Bo Nix-led offense is leading the wild card? Can you really trust a AFC wildcard team except for the Ravens because the 6 Steelers are sitting here with 1 more win? You simply cannot. You can trust no one in the wild card conversation except the Baltimore Ravens to play night in, night out football, at least with my eyes, with 4 eyes, including contacts, have seen. So now we're talking about Jets before Christmas. All right? Week 13, 14, 15, 16. And we'll go quick. You're dancing against the Seahawks, also at home, because this team's been everywhere. All right? In seemingly a Southwest Airlines 32B seat. Roger. The Seahawks are terrible on defense. Terrible. I don't want to hear it. You gave up 29 at your place to the Giants, over 40 to the Lions, over 35 to the freaking Niners. The Seahawks cannot be trusted. They win a Falcons game on the road. They're outgained, out-yardaged, out-hustled, and they win the game because it was a turnover differential. the Seahawks is a win. Now you're going down to Del Boca Vista, saying hi to Morty and the boys, playing some ping pong, eating dinner at 4:30, digesting just in time to cook the Dolphins, and what seems to be a season completely laces out and already over. You get the Dolphins twice, by the way, in a month and some change in this schedule, in this Jets schedule. I'm telling you right now, Rodgers down in Florida, he's going to get excellent sleep. His 4-year-old self's going to be eating at 4:30 with the rest of them, phase 3, and they're going to win. They're going to beat Miami, and they're going to beat Jacksonville because that's who they have next. Another bottom 5 defense in points, in yards, in red zone D, and pass D, third worst, 31st in pass yards, 30th in overall per pass, yards per catch, defensively speaking. Am I being out of my mind here? Am I really sitting here with this Jets defense? If Aaron Rodgers can just get back to a stroke of who he used to be. The dude had 9 interceptions in 2 seasons in back-to-back MVPs. The guy's getting close to reaching that number already through 1.5 a season. He's playing out of the flow. And the ayahuasca and the meditation will bring him back into the flow. Just in time to host the Rams on a 1 o'clock Eastern spot where a West Coast team has to travel in the middle of the winter. In the middle of the winter. To MetLife. Stafford getting decked to halls by Mosley, by Williams, on a little cornerback Madden blitz by Sauce. Rams lose this game. SoCal soft team in the middle of New York winter hold this L. Now we're talking about my New Year's plans changing because the Jets just have the Bills and the Dolphins. And I haven't said there's an L on the record yet. They split the last 2. But it's enough to get into the dance. I'm not selling you on the AFC East. It's wrapped up. I'm not. That's the other nice thing in Week 17. What are the Bills dancing for at that spot? If they already wrapped up the division and maybe let's say they're not catching KC in the 1 seed, that bye goes to them. All right, are we vying maybe for 2, 3 seed, 4 seed? Probably, but maybe not. What if it's solidified? We're talking about bottom defenses every other sentence here and great scheduling spots with more home games than road. The worst is behind them. The best is yet to Sinatra come. Jets plus 590. Sprinkle on the AFC conference. 10 to win 600. I run into you in New York, I'll buy you a coffee. I mean, you can also ROI the ticket. If they don't run the table, they get to the playoffs, that's going to ROI. $10 to probably win several hundred at a, or at least 200 at a $600 payout. So the Jets win tonight. Breece Hall scores. I like Devontae Adams over on receiving yards. Breece Hall scored last year against this Texans D. Even worse on the run D side, in my opinion, from what I've seen this year than last year. DeMeco Ryans' defense has a little bit of questions to answer with Jimmy Ward out tonight. Jimmy Ward, anchor safety, groin, out. Diggs, out. Nico Collins, out. How much can Tank's second year Dell do when CJ's under duress? I'm telling you, baby. So we got the Jets. I like Breece. I like Devontae. Plus 590 to make the playoffs. This either gets hung up in the all-time betting Hall of Fame pods, or this goes into the dumpster and Costanza doesn't go grab the eclair and eat it out of it. Just a flat-out L in the dumpster. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, review. Plus 590. Appreciate you. Also, never forget to hug your mothers. Ta-ta real smooth. Let's go, Jets!